Hey, what's going on, everybody? You know who it is. So, yeah, what's going on? So, as everybody knows, I thought I was going to be increasing the frequency of my videos. I don't know how much time I'm going to have right now to record. So, I mean, you're not going to notice because by the time I compile something together, you're going to get it all wrapped up together. But at the moment, my wife, the mom of my baby, my wife is trying to get my daughter to sleep. She fell asleep in the car on the way back to Ottawa. But, you know, now she's in the house trying to get her to sleep because she woke up when we got home. Shit happens. Anyways, so smart. Yesterday, well, you put out a video every day, sometimes two, sometimes many. And I love it. I gotta be honest. I watch Ralph Smart's videos. I forget when I started, but it was probably around COVID-ish time, maybe even the beginning of the year. I used to watch all his videos, and then I took a break and I focused only on magic. I didn't watch anybody else but Frederick Xavier and probably Birch, and a select few from time to time, but for the most part just them two, and focused on Kabbalah and Great Work, self-transformation and manifestation and everything else. So that was like the goal for a while, and that's what I did. And then, you know, that things were working and everything was going great. But anyways, point is, I stopped for a while and I started up. I've been pretty much watching his shows every day. I got myself current up until like all his old videos that I watched. And then when I stopped, so everything at that point, I went back as far as I could and said, okay, no, I saw this video before. Next video, I saw this video before. Next video, okay, I didn't see this video. I watched all those and I got current. Maya! And once I got current, I've been watching his video every day. You know, when all that shit went down between me and my wife, I stopped watching his videos momentarily, but I wasn't really watching or doing anything. So, and then now I'm back to current. But anyways, yesterday put out a video. So I think it was something about for the chosen ones or whatever, or good name of the title. But anyways, it was a great video. And then I was looking at the comments for whatever reason, and I saw something about people, because he talks about the age of Aquarius and a few other things, and somebody mentioned this water age. So stupidly, well, not stupidly. I'm glad I did it now, but I decided to comment and say, actually. Aquarius isn't a water sign, but it is an air sign. Even though I thought the same thing initially, because it has the word aqua in it, and when you hear of aqua, you think of water, right? Color aqua is like a bluish green, and so most people assume, but Aquarius is water and the fish is air. And part of the explanation, I said, well, to a fish, water is air, right? And to us, well, water is water, right? But to a fish, our air we breathe would be like their version of water. So anyways, and then I go in there and I start talking about some more stuff and about the water bearer, right? So the age of Aquarius is a water bearer. So basically, it's an air, as we go backwards through the precession of the equinox, meaning Aries, Taurus was before Aries. Taurus would have been when they were worshipping the golden calves. If we use the Bible, for example, when they were worshipping the golden calves, this is before Moses went up to the mountain. And they were trying to free the Israelites. If you go by the Bible, I'm not saying this is fact or how it played out, because I really don't believe that. But let's just say, you know, whenever Pharaoh was in charge and had all these apparently, quote unquote, Jewish people as slaves. Well, this would have been when they were, the calf. And then when Moses freed him, the burning bush, right, fire, Aries, well, he goes up, and he eventually goes up to the mountain and gets the commandments. And when he comes down, he's so angry and upset, he smashes those 10 commandments that took him like 40 days and 40 nights to get up and down that fucking mountain, and then tells them all to kill themselves, purify themselves, which would only make sense if reincarnation's a thing, but we won't even touch that. So then that was Aries. And then right up until Jesus is born, it became Pisces. And then after Jesus is born for 2,000 years, which brings us to date, it's now going to be Aquarius, give or take. So it's the water bearer. So he's holding water, not necessarily pouring it out, but he does pour water into his thoughts. And that's the kind of the explanation I gave was, well, we can all be water bearers, meaning for the last 2,000 years, it was our job, emotional time, it is our job to get our emotions in check, to learn how to control our emotions, to know, learn, and be aware that the fact is when you add emotion into your thought, then it creates your reality. obviously, if you're programmed doing something for so long and programmed by your parents and all that, well, those things are going to play out as well. But once you realize that, well, there's a faster way to do that, and you can replace your programming by putting thought into emotion the proper way, but you have to do training before you get there. But basically, well, okay, here's the thing: you do that no matter what, right? You do that no matter what. The negative emotions are easier to manifest than the positive emotions for God only knows what reason. Most of the time, it's probably because you're waiting for it to happen. The longer you consciously think about it, it won't come subconsciously to you. And then there's other things that come in the way, like programming. If you're programmed to believe certain things like magic or evil or the root of money, or money is the root of all evil, well, then it's very hard for you to manifest money. And sometimes you don't even think you have that programming in you anymore, because you can consciously be like, I don't believe that anymore, but it won't happen. Anyway, so the explanation I gave was, well, we're all the water bearers. Anybody who's the chosen one is a water bearer, meaning we hold our cup of emotion. We have it in check. We're not easily influenced by the media or whatever. So we don't see something on the media and just believe it, because I mean, it's not true anyways, and their job is to get you to empty your emotional cup into what they're talking about, because that's their thought, and they want your emotions to power their manifestation. And we don't do that, us, the chosen ones, the fucking witches, the magicians, light workers, empaths, the crystals, all those fucking funny names we got, all of us. So we don't do that shit. Sorry, lights are gonna go up. Bad. Anyways, we don't do that. We have control of our emotions. That's why we have it in a cup. And I gave an example stating that it's if you're not person, because people create no matter what, right? But the way they're creating is, someone else is telling them what to think or believe, and then they manifest what they want them to focus on. Was kind of the explanation. And I said, if you're someone who doesn't believe in this or doesn't do this and think, well, this is all bullshit, and you just keep going, well, you're basically like someone who's in water over their heads, so you're swimming and fight or flight, trying to get to a shore where you can get out of that fucking. I don't even care about the cup or anything like that. Just my fucking radio picked up in the car. But yeah, you're in fight or flight, just giving fucking emotion to everything around you, basically. And that's what I said. That was based. I mean, there's probably more to it than that. If you check out the videos or whatever, he highlighted a couple of mine. I don't know if it was Ralph or not, but anyways, my comments. And then somebody else said my interpretation, but he wasn't answering to me. He was answering to somebody else, and he had a good interpretation or whatever. And somebody else said something. Well, Age of Aquarius is good, but it's more than that. Blah 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 blah. And the other guy was talking about ego and all that. So I gave an explanation stating basically, I agree 100%, because they were saying basically you have to shed your ego and all this, and and to a certain extent, it depends on what they think the ego is, and everybody has the right to their own opinion, and the ego can be big enough, and the ego right now has such a different definition than it's ever have because of New Age mostly and other things. But so basically, what I said was, well, the way I look at it is we need to use our ego in one specific way. And I've said this before on my channel and on my podcast, but it's basically to protect, because you have two minds. You have the male mind, which the ego is part of it, and your identity is part of it. See, most people think the fight or flight response is all part of the ego, and yes and no, because fight or flight is that reptilian brain. It's the oldest part of your brain, but it's not something you can access consciously. Just like the other part, there's like the 3-tier brain is more in depth than just the subconscious and conscious mind. But even that's a basic model of the brain. But there's like 3 tiers, and then there's subconscious and unconscious, or subconscious and conscious. But anyways, the reptilian brain is when your body goes into fight or flight. Now your ego can get in the way sometimes and maybe put you into fight or flight. But normally, if you're looking at ego as in cocky and thinking you know what you're doing and you're not worried, well, then you're not really going to be accessing the fight or flight response, because that's normally whenever fear kicks on. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, so what I said was, well, what happens is people, you got to shut off. What I said was, I depolarized myself for so many years. I went vegan, vegetarian more, because I still eat cheese from time to time and eggs, and I know maybe I shouldn't, but you know, sometimes the body wants what the body wants, and I don't eat much at all. Like, I really shrank my stomach good, but the point I'm trying to get at is when I started the curriculum, everything changed, and that was part of the process. I believe you have to be depolarized to be that water bearer, to be able to hold your emotions. Otherwise, things are going to rub you the wrong way. You're always going to be picking sides, and the point of polarity is to be used by the magician and not to be used by it, not to be swayed one way or another. So I was saying how I did that for the last so many years, and the way I figured it out is once you connect your minds, conscious and the subconscious. The conscious, you can understand and know whatever you want with that bitch, but it's not going to help you do anything. Your subconscious, the female mind, is the female, the divine feminine, if you will, but really it's the female mind, and it's the more powerful one, and it's the link to the divine. So the conscious job is to impress the thoughts on it. So you have an identity, you have an ego, you have your consciousness, and in this, whatever, my Corey LeBlanc, my identity, well, I want or I need so and so much money to pay these bills and get caught up, or I need to manifest time off like I just had done. I just did it again. I've been off and I got 2 checks. Well, sorry, I got a check this week, which brought me current. It was my past due balance that they owed me for the last couple of weeks, because manifest time off again, and it wasn't COVID related, but anyways. And then they told me I have to do a report again this weekend to get another check next week, and that's back-to-back weeks, and it's like, well, why? Like, oh, for the past due we owe you. I'm already caught up right to my date, so, you know, I'll do magic to make sure that I don't have to pay that back or whatever, but it just goes to show you that, you know, things I do work. You know, believe me, don't believe me, I don't care. I got no reason to lie on here. If I was trying to lie on here, I'd be telling you I'm doing a whole lot more than I'm doing. But anyways, so, our ego, we're able to put requests, suggestions, basically directions into our subconscious mind. But you can't just do that consciously like talking. There's specific ways you can do that. Now, I'm sure you can program yourself any way you want to be able to get that connection, or to be able to get the suggestion in there. But the ways I know are the affirmation route, sigil route, you know, any kind of candle magic, ritual magic, you know, basically in a nutshell, is the way to get stuff into your subconscious. Meditation, people like to think that's the way, but meditation normally is the opposite process. It's letting your subconscious talk to you, right? You are quieting your ego, your identity, and you are allowing the subconscious to talk to you. You're trying to connect to that. That's how you practice getting this connection. So once you start coming this way, well, then you're doing ritual magic also, putting yourself into a relaxed state, like trance, if you can, if you will, and it comes with time. But you have to be semi-conscious when you do your ritual. And basically why that is because you're putting on a show for your subconscious. And it's so you impress on her by using the language she knows, which is symbolism. She understands symbolism, pictures. She doesn't understand talk. That's why a sigil is a bunch of words, like I will such and such into being, I will be, I'm free somewhere to be. Turn all those consonants into a symbol, and you stare at that until it becomes nothing, jack off to it while staring at it, and the point of fucking orgasm, boom, it gets shot in there by pleasure or pain. And I've already explained why this happens as well. And it's like, it has to do with the release of endorphins and all this stuff. That's how you impress into your mind. So basically, that's the female, this is the male. It's like every fucking thing in nature, every animal wants to impregnate, you know, its mate. It wants to show a dominance. So it puts on a show, whether you're naked or wearing robes when you do your fucking ritual. That's why. It's like, well, what the fuck is this guy doing? You know, you're putting on a fucking show for subconscious mind, the female mind. And that's the point. You want to do that so that she gets the point, gets the suggestion in your mind. So that's what I was basically writing, that your ego is to protect the female mind, because she is so much more powerful. She controls reality. Everything that's in mind, via programming, via what you're trying to put in there, via what you're programmed by your parents since a young age, such and such. She's the one that controls your cells, your breathing when you're not consciously thinking about it, your cells die and come back to life, everything, you know, right down to, well, everything, anyways. But when it comes to, like, you know, if you're watching TV or you're scanning through Facebook, scrolling down, looking for something to look at, YouTube as well, everything is being picked up by her, because you're consciously looking for something. So you're busy. Your conscious mind is busy doing something, meaning the subconscious is always there in the background in case you fuck up, you drop the ball, you're too busy to catch something important, whatever. She catches it all. That's why watching a movie, if you start, like, if you're like right and zoned into it there or whatever, it's going right in the subconscious mind. Even though you know it's not a real thing, it's still going into your subconscious mind as real. She doesn't know the difference between real and fake, right? I mean, she can't be in charge of everything. So what I said, the job of the ego, the identity, the conscious mind is, and this is just a very vague version of how I would put it, but is to protect her. And this is what you do. I take my identity and my ego. I know the fear-based media, the news, all that does not have my best interest. I know they're trying to use my power to manifest. And you can say, well, that's a little egotistical. You think, yeah, fucking right. And I'm going to protect this first lady of mine. And like I said, it's the same for women as well. The woman, you know, you can say the women are backwards. They are in their feminine mind, and then the masculine mind is subconscious. If you don't want to look at that, well, look at it like that, you can, but it's not really accurate. They still have a conscious mind, which is technically male, and they have a subconscious mind, which is technically female. And it's not really as in like a girl and a boy. It's just how it works. It's just the gender issue. And the reason it's that way is just that's how we perceive things. People see things in a certain way. We give everything that we don't understand humanistic fucking characteristics, like our teddy bears and our toys as a kid, you know. My car's a girl technically too. Well, why is that? Well, I get in there, she brings me to A to B, you know what I mean? Once again, I gotta tell her what to do, just like the subconscious mind, but she's more powerful than I am. Like, I can't do the things this car does. But anyway, so basically what I said is your conscious mind has to impress on the subconscious, and if she likes it, she'll give you the baby, which is your manifestation. But your job is to protect her. You got to go out, hunt, get the food. You got to go get the information that you want her to have, and you got to protect her from the information she shouldn't have. You know what I mean? You go out and hunt the wolves. You don't let the wolves just come in and eat her. So that's kind of what I was saying. And this morning I woke up, and that comment was highlighted as well. My first one was highlighted. My second one was highlighted. And someone, a 20-year-old, said something to the effect of, wow, I wasn't sure I was going to be sarcastic at first or whatever, but as I read, I realized it was good. Very kind words he gave me. I forget his name. Well, it's on there. I subscribe to his channel, even though he doesn't have any videos. And I said that a long time ago. I do that to everybody that, you know, subscribes to me, or I think does subscribe to me. And I went from 35 to 36, so I'm assuming it was that person. So I left another comment after he said, yeah, I'm 20, and, you know, I'm very intrigued by all this, but I can't seem to get manifestation to work. And if I could help him. And I was like, wow, that's cool. You know what I mean? Someone actually straight up asking me if I could help him. But I didn't say, I said, absolutely, I can guide you to potentially the right system and what people listen to, or something to that effect. And, you know, I first said to get his natal chart, to get his placement from his birth time, date, and city he was born in. And the reason I said this is, like I've already stated before as well, is you simply want to know where the planets are. You want to know where, you know, your Venus and your Mars is. That's going to tell you something about your purpose and your passion. You want to start researching an integrated thing to do, right? You go on YouTube, and when you find out where your sun is and what sign and what house, well, you put that in YouTube. Sun in Libra in 5th house or something, and Libra in 7th house, let's just say. And then it's going to tell you what your identity is, how you identify, what's to you. And then likewise, like wherever your sun is, your ascendant is, well, your descendant is what your subconscious mind is and likes. So that's also an important thing to know, right? So my subconscious mind is right there in Scorpio, and my ascendant is right there in Taurus or Aries, depending if it's Vedic or tropical. So anyways, this will give you an outline. I said that wasn't essential. It's like, you don't need to do this, but it's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to tell you a whole lot. And from there we can go, because, you know, and then I said to do the book, this curriculum, Kabbalah and Great Work, Self-Transformation, and to start the neophyte right away. But if he is not into occult stuff, not into magic, let's say he's more science-based and doesn't want the god names and shit like that, well, then he might not be the type that would like this path. Now, this system works great. Lots of people have used it, and it will work. But to put programming in somebody that is going to buck it every chance it gets, like, you know what I mean? What I mean by that is the programming he's already got in him is going to fight it. And that could be what's happening right now. He's trying to manifest stuff that's not working. Maybe he's got a strict Christian background. Maybe he's got no religious background whatsoever. So he's an atheist, and it's very hard for him to understand the idea of source, a God, or something like that. So then there's other ways to go around this, right? There's just straight up new age ways to fucking get programming in you. I know a whole bunch of ways that I was looking up. I know a bunch of different atheists that practice magic in a way that works, and it's not any kind of Luciferian or satanic shit. So that birth chart will tell us where he might have issues and stuff like that. Because let's say I ask him and he can only tell me so much, or he holds back or whatever. And I'm not saying I'm just going to do that, but I'm just saying for anybody. But that birth chart, if he has one, because if he goes to see somebody or asks a guru to help or whatever, then they're going to ask for that most likely. But anyways, so that's what I said to start the neophyte right away. And then I said I'll keep watching Ralph Smart because he gives you great information, and it's essential, I think, too. But on top, and plus this is all in Ralph Smart's comment on his channel. So if I didn't plug him, it'd be pretty fucking disrespectful. And, you know, I wouldn't want someone to do that to me. If someone left a comment and it was to look at some other person's information after watching another YouTuber's videos, which I hope Ralph doesn't think I was trying to steal that. And I sent him a DM message as well, explaining that I wasn't trying to do that. I was just simply leaving a comment. And that's why, you know, I said his wonderful information and all that. And I owe a lot to Ralph. Ralph's taught me a lot. And you know, there's a lot of information that I know that I learned from Ralph's older videos. And I said it a while ago, and I'll say it again. You'll be well served by watching Ralph Smart's old videos. But anyways, so I put the PDF link on that comment in Ralph Smart's on the comments, and I hope it stayed there. I put the Mind of Magic. I said as well as listening to Ralph, you should listen to Frederick Xavier. And Frederick Xavier, I didn't say this in the comment because it was already long enough. I always leave long comments. I can't say anything very simply. I gotta make a fucking story. Everybody knows that. That's the ADD and shit in me. But Frederick Xavier does Kabbalah and Great Work Self-Transformation. I think it's about 3 or 4 videos in, maybe later, that he says and tells you this is the book and curriculum I work from. And so Frederick Xavier's channel is like a correspondent, is like a guide that helps you with the book. Now, it's not like, okay, this is what he was talking about in the neophyte, this is what he's talking about in this grade and anything like that. He does talk about the elemental grade and how when you're in the elemental grade, which is right after the neophyte, is when, you know, after you're done the grade, you make the pentacle, just like you make the censer for incense after the neophyte grade. But it's the first grade, like grade 0 is neophyte. It's just learning your basic practices, which basically stop any and all karma coming to you. Anything you said negative that you're manifesting to yourself right now, that you're living right now, from all the times you said, I'm never going to be rich, I'm never going to be successful, I'm never going to be fat, I'm never going to find a girl, all those things you've said over and over and over again, well, that's coming back to bite you, because anything you put out there comes back to you. So that's coming around. But when you start this, you start the depolarization training, you start the grounding, putting your feet on the ground, you start doing the lesser banishing of the pentagram, which blesses wherever you're doing your rituals and takes away all the bad energy, and you do the middle pillar, bring in your self-astral energy or mental plane energy, basically spiritual energy, energizes your body so you feel a whole lot better. Well, all these things help you stay in the middle, be depolarized, and stop outside forces, psychic attack from other people and yourself, your family, people just praying for you, whatever the case is, from affecting you. So you do this from 6 months to a year, depending on when you're ready, and it stops the karma from happening. And the reason you don't manifest or try to manifest anything during this period is because you still have incoming crap. Sometimes you can't manifest good things to happen to you because you're still owed some bad shit. You know what I mean? And I said this before, there's no way to prove this, and there's not too many people say it, but there's a good and likely chance that when you are trying to manifest certain things, it's not going to happen if you've done bad things. Let's say you steal from 10 people and you do 9 good deeds, and then you're trying to manifest something. Well, you're not going to happen because you have one more good deed to do before you can manifest. So I think there's something that has to be looked at. I think it's something worth thinking about. But anyways, nonetheless, you do a good deed, what good you send out comes back to you. So it's a win-win. Either you're evening yourself out or you're just bringing yourself good luck. Just like giving money gives you money. So I wrote all that, well, not all that, but I wrote that in a nutshell in there. So after your neophyte, you're ready to start the earth grade where you can heal yourself and heal your financial situation. And, you know, I'm past that grade, but I know how to do it still. So I'm currently doing that, you know. Like I said before, I went back to work after being off for all that time, being a fucking father of 4 and owning a house and a car at age, well, I started owning my house when I was 31, so, and I've owned, this is like my second car. The first one was my Dodge Journey, and my second one is this 2018 Nissan Pathfinder, which I don't care about that, but it's a pretty good accomplishment. It's a pretty expensive vehicle. So all I'm trying to say is the shit, it comes along with it. And you can say, well, 6 months to a year is a long time to wait. Well, you don't have to. You can start doing sigils, you can start doing affirmations, you can start going to bed with a recorder, you can start writing down what you want to happen. The only issue is if you're not depolarized and you don't know what you really want and your heart's desire doesn't match what you need, like what you need right now versus what you want, can be 2 different things. You can't come into contact with that until you do some of these exercises, or in a different system, the equivalent of these exercises. Like I'm saying, it's not the only one way. It's just a way that works. See, to me, magic is magic. Magic is real. Magic works. It's getting something into your subconscious mind to play out in your world. Now, is there different ways of that? Of course there is. There's many different ways. And like I said before, I'm almost convinced that you could program yourself that every time I eat a mock chicken sandwich, I get 20 bucks. And you play that over and over again, and you do all the ways I said, it would fucking happen. I swear to God, I believe that. Now here's the other part though. You have to get that programming in your head for that to work on an individual level. But systems that people put their energy into, just like logos, like the McDonald's logo, everybody knows what the fuck that means, right? Even babies know that's fucking food before they even know anything. Babies know they want to go there before they know anything. Why the fuck is that? Well, it's a sigil. It's been programmed with a certain intention to get people to either go there, to eat there, to be hungry, whatever the case is. And everything happens first inside. Subconscious will try to manifest it internally. So you look at that McDonald's sigil, and it's going to say, okay, we'll try to get this guy hungry for him to eat. Let's say you don't like McDonald's. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, I'm hungry. And then it's like, oh, no, I don't like McDonald's. But all of a sudden, someone will come over and buy you McDonald's. Like, holy fuck, that really worked. You know, that's how everything works. It first tries to do it internally, then externally. So that could be another issue someone's having. But anyways, all I'm trying to say here is, well, this is why I gave that system. But the more minds that believe in something, because there is such thing as the collective unconscious, which is everybody's unconscious mind connected. Our conscious minds are not connected. Our unconscious are. That's why it's a link to the divine, and that's how you use magic to affect other people. Now, doing magic does affect other people, because if you want money to be put in your account or whatever the case is, well, there's so many people that are going to have to do something. Give you the check, whatever. Your mind is going to be like, if you go find the girl that found 30 grand from a Brinks truck wall at an ATM, because the Brinks guy left it there the one time. Well, there's people that went in after the guy left there and they didn't even see it. So their minds were affected by her magic. This is just an example. Like, I don't know if she used magic or not, but let's say she did. Well, their minds would be affected by the magic, right? Saying, your kids are in the car, you gotta go fast. Or wife called, like, how come you're taking so long? And got the fuck out of there. Brinks guy had an emergency, so he fucking forgot that money. And then for her to actually look up and not be one of the other sheep that just walked out, something had to happen. So that's what I mean by that. But anyways, just a short video to, once again, if the guy is subscribed to me, thank you. I appreciate you subscribing to me. And whoever just recently subscribed to me, well, thank you to you. And anybody else, feel free. And always reach out. Anybody wants any questions, wants me to talk about something, fucking feel free. I'd love to have something to point at, and because I swear to God, and something I really want to mention too is the guy said, thank you for sharing your wisdom and all that. And it's not my wisdom. This is the wisdom from the gods, the planets, the deities, everything. I don't worship anything, okay? Like anybody who practices organized religion. Not that there's anything wrong with that, to each his own, but I don't worship shit. I don't worship shit, okay? I am grateful, I honor I respect deities, the elements, elementals, all these different types of spirits, even the bad, negative ones, because I think I know what they really are, and the planetary energies, and, you know, anybody's system, technically, whether it's angels or demons. To me, it's all energies, entities, thought forms, whatever. Well, not the planets maybe, but I've asked many, many, many times for wisdom, for knowledge, to be able to help people. Like in Ralph's comment, I said I don't want to be necessarily a teacher or a guru, but I do want to be another guy out there who is just like everybody else, who tried magic to see if it worked, and it did. And I'm able to manifest what I want now pretty darn fast. And I got pretty good out of it, and I think I can tell people. But I don't want to be this popular guy trying to teach this shit, because, well, first of all, if I want to be popular, I wouldn't be talking about this. And second of all, I don't want people who aren't ready for this information getting it just in case. They are those people that are born with natural abilities to magic, and they can manifest fast, and they're kind of psycho or sociopaths or whatever. So, but whenever that man said thank you, I said, well, thank you for the kind words, but I want to make it very clear, and it's mostly to myself, the spirits, my subconscious mind, that I'm not taking credit for that it is simply, and like I said before, channeling, at least for me anyways, it's subtle. The information comes to me, and as I'm talking, I hear it, it comes out. So I know a lot of people make it a big, grandiose process, like, whoa, hello, this is Cryon. And I like Cryon, so I'm not making fun of the man, but I'm just saying, you know, people do that for the distinction, so people know it's a difference, and it makes it, you know, whatever, and it impresses on their subconscious mind too. It's an NLP trick as well, but nonetheless, you know, otherwise, when people like me just come out here and say, well, it's subtle, it's not like that. You know, most of your thoughts, you think, like if you ever wrote something in school and you were just writing and writing and writing, and you actually had a good time writing, and you don't want to admit it, and you're channeling something. And it's as simple as that. Don't believe me, I don't care. But as you do this process and you keep going, you're going to figure that out too. When the thoughts just come, that's what's happening. Start thinking of thoughts as spirits. I got some older videos, so I'll explain that. But this is what happens when you do candle magic and either write on the candle or put a petition underneath it, and you ask for information put into action to become wisdom, which is something else I wrote, by the way, you know, on that comment. But second last video, not today's video, but yesterday's video, if you want to see all the comments and the PDF for Cabal and the Great Crystal Transformation, and the link to Mind and Magic. But so yeah, I just wanted to mention that once again, that I just wanted to say that it's a thank you, and it's not necessarily me, it's the information we can all tap into. See, I'm no different than anybody else out there. The curriculum tells me how to do the exercises and what to do to get my minds connected. Once your minds are connected, you have the same access to this information as I do. But if you aren't depolarized and you're getting this information, well then, as you get it, you're going to see it through the lens of whatever polarity you have, either positive or negative, either Republican or Democrat, either Christian or satanic, whatever you are. And this is why depolarization is better, because then you get a more raw, neutral, balanced version of the information. Because if you're not depolarized, then you're going to taint the information, and you're only going to be able to affect a certain group of people, the ones that are polarized for you. And that actually might make you more popular than me, because I'm only affecting people that are trying to work on neutrality. Maybe I can kind of affect people that are plus and minus, and, you know, eventually I'll say something they don't like, and they probably drop my show or whatever. But I mean, I lost 3 subscribers recently, and I'm back up when I was at 35, and now I'm back up to 36 anyways, and it's only been like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So that's what I mean. Like, don't worry about it. If you're getting dropped and you're trying to make videos, they'll come back. Just be true to yourself, and, you know, they'll come back to you. But all this is just to say that I'm thankful for the new subscriber. This video is basically for you. If you had any other questions that I may not have had, and you're kind of scared about, I don't know what your background is, I don't know if you are raised Christian or any other organized religion or no religion or whatever, and you start reading that book and you think it's a type of Judaism, it is not. Kabbalah is a Jewish word, but that's with a Q, not a K. And this is basically, like I said many times before, this is using the power that is put in by Judaism, Christianity, and maybe even Islam to a certain extent, and all the other different types of religions that use the Bible that have put power into these God names and different things to that effect. Well, there is all that focused energy into it. So if you think about Christians, they all read the Bible. They know, well, not all of them, but a lot of them know the Bible. A lot of people just by, default, if they are Christian, then there's power in that Bible. The Bible is a holy item. So if we use parts of that holy book, we are technically taking all the energy, electricity, emotion that they put into that thing as being holy. And we're using their mind power every time we say these words. You can say, well, that's not right. Well, not really, because you're not really doing anything bad with those words. You're simply purifying your house or your temple room or whatever. You're getting yourself into the right state. You're purifying yourself to be holy, to be in the presence of the divine, which is basically your own mind. You kind of step into your own mind when you do a ritual. It's symbolic of stepping into your mind and being face to face with the divine. That's why you're in the cosmos, right? The planets are the closest you can get to the divine, because like there's a barrier between us and source. And they're the closest probably things. That's how I kind of look at it anyways. And yeah, so I know it's a lot of information and handling. I can keep going for days about this stuff, but I won't. Once again, this is why the neophyte has you not manifesting right away. So you might be like, well, you told me this will help me manifest. Yeah, I'm not manifesting. Well, simply want to learn how to manifest, you just got to simply residual magic, candle magic, to look up witchcraft and, stay away from the trapping of black and dark magic, but just stick with the light stuff until you become more depolarized or whatever, and you can learn how spells and all these different ways to manifest whatever the fuck you want. It ain't hard. So anyways, but yeah, depolarization is a quick way is the best way to be able to get channeled information and manifest things, because it's easy to manifest what you want whenever money is no longer bad. Let's say you have programming that money is the root of all evil. But when you're depolarized, it's not going to be so bad anymore what you're doing. And and this is another reason why your birth chart is important. If you have more planets in women signs like the moon, like moon or the moon or Venus, or in what's water and earth signs when it comes to the zodiac signs, well, then you will have more of a negative energy. And if you have more in the positive signs, positive polarity, or the gender, the male ones, then you, like either fire or air, then you will have, that's another thing I mentioned, that we're going from water negative to air positive, but which is more male, which is probably why you see what's going on here. But anyways, you'll know if you have more of a positive or negative energy. And this plays into the moon, because all magic is basically done through the moon. It's the closest planet to us, even though the sun looks about the same size, but it's besides Earth, but we don't use Earth because we're on Earth, even though you can still pay homage to the Mother Earth, not the mother as in the moon, but the moon waxes and wanes, negative and positive. When the moon's negative, you banish. When the moon's positive, you ask for stuff. And likewise, you're going to be better at, right off the hop, you'll be better at either banishing stuff or calling stuff to you. And that's what black magic is and white magic is. Baneful magic is magic trying to hurt people. But black magic is simply banishing. Now, if you're banishing away someone else's wealth, well, that's baneful, as far as I'm concerned. And if you don't know how to transform that energy before it comes back to you, well, then you're going to wish someone else's wealth away. It's going to go away, but so is yours. So there's little tricks like that. But if you banish away someone's cancer, or you banish away your poverty, well, then you become rich. So that's another reason why maybe magic's not working for you. If you're asking for money all the time, but you got more of a negative energy, well, then you're not going to have much luck. But if you banish away the poverty, and that's another trick. Every time you banish, you should invoke, and every time you invoke, you should banish. So that's where the moon comes into play too. It's another trick. It's on my earlier episodes in my podcast. It's probably on my videos too. I know it's a lot of videos to go through. Unfortunately, the first ones, at least up until like 15 or 17, are only 15 minutes each. Very low, so make sure you have headphones that work really well. But anyways, you don't have to do any of that. Like I said, I promoted Frederick Xavier, the Book of All the Great Work of Self-Transformation, and Ralph Smart above myself. And I said to only resort to my videos
if you get stuck once more, and then I go in more detail on some of the questions that people might have and whatever. So anyways, I think that's it for today. Thank you to everybody and anybody who's been a recent new subscriber, and especially the one who asked the question if I could help them. And I am willing to help you anytime you want. Just, I would really like to see you put in the work. Once again, it's probably not me helping, it's going to be things talking through me. I know that sounds weird, but it's not. It's not, because everybody has their conscious and their unconscious, or subconscious rather, and then the subconscious can talk through all of us as long as we have cross communication. As long as you realize that, you know, the more you meditate and the more you do ritual magic and the more you ground and become depolarized, you know, well then you're going to have something helping you out, having your back. And, you know, the more you give your power away, in a sense, like you believe in your body to heal you and stuff like that. You delegate all that power, and you don't try to become all powerful and think your conscious mind is all superior. Well, the more you kind of delegate, the more powerful you will actually get. But anyways, that's enough for me. Hope you enjoyed, and have a great fucking day.